Okay, so yesterday was the 128-person Digimon Oceanic Regionals. I was commentating for the whole event. If you want to watch that, there is an entire VOD on the channel. But here we are going to go ahead and do just like a top 8 of the top 8 decks, starting from number 1, going to number 8, show you kind of a breakdown of what each of those decks was running in their deck lists. What they do, I guess is the best way to put it. It's going to be pretty quick. I do just also want to say like a massive thank you to TAC Games for allowing me to stream the entire event. I was really happy to just cover the event. A lot of our Oceanic regionals and webcam and online events often go kind of under the radar because a lot of the times they aren't covered by a lot of streamers. So I just wanted to remedy that because I wasn't able to play. But I am also just super happy to be able to be showing off a lot of the players that I know, people that I chat with, people in my community, the Australian community who are very, very good players. I just want to show off them to the rest of the world. So if you see any of these decks that you like, if you enjoyed watching this top 8 breakdown, please consider liking and subscribing, I guess, because I'm going to be trying to do a little bit more of these things, and hopefully the TO will allow me to stream some more of the events down the track, because having a record of all the VODs of these events would be fantastic. You guys seeing this? Man, this sunset is beautiful, chat. I'm so glad you could be here with me to see it. I wouldn't want to be here with anybody else. I also forgot to put that this event did not have EX7 legal, so the reason you'll see these all these lists do not have any EX7 cards, that is why we didn't have EX7 legal for this format, because here in Australia 50% of the LGSs did not get their stock in time for the event, so the tournament organizers deemed that it was necessary for fair play that we just play in a BT17 format and no EX7. So without further ado, here are the lists. And to answer your question, yes, I am wearing the suit I was wearing yesterday. Different shirt though. But we're kind of keeping in fashion here with the same as what we were doing yesterday. But let's get started. First place, we had Marcus Villamor. The unfortunate part is, for God knows what reason, DCGO doesn't want me to use the 3 letters CU and S. I don't know what the deal is with that, but Marcus Villamor, congratulations. Fantastic job getting first place with Imperialdramon. You love to see it. It is a very strong deck, and we'll go kind of through a little bit of the card by card. If you've been playing it all for the entirety of the time, Imperialdramon shouldn't be anything new to you, but this is just still a well-built deck. We're not going to go through every single card here, but yeah, 4 of the Searcher Vmon, 2 of the, Gains Your Memory Vmon, 2 of the, Digivolves for 1 less, Wormon for another search, end of turn and another search with this Wormon is really good here. I'm a fan of that. Running 2 of the XVs that from EX1, which initially was kind of surprising to me. Same with the 2 of the Stingmon, because I thought, like, personally that the ratios were 5 and 5 on these, with like 1 of the EX1 and the starter deck Stingmon, but it seems like, running as many level 4s as possible, keeping it as consistent as possible is the way to go. This is a much more aggressive build with the Paildramons, which, some people run one of the other, I think it's another Pale that basically, strips sources and trashes. That obviously leans a little bit more into the control version, but with running these 2 dragon modes, you want to see as many of these Pales, which allow you to end the game as quickly as possible. And we saw that coming out from Marcus in the game that we watched. A lot of these Imperialdramon players are out to kill as fast as possible, and it is super possible to do that now with the Primogenitor as well as the Dragon mode. That is, these are 2 cards that combine together to essentially have a 2 cost to Digivolve, plays out 2 of the level 4s, and then when you play out those 2 level 4s, you immediately just, you're still in turn, you're going to DNA straight back into this, gain another 2 memory, so essentially the entire line to make another Paildramon is completely free, and then you just do it again. You do another 2 checks with the newest Paildramon, you get the 3rd check in if you have the memory somehow with the Dragon mode. It does a lot. I was initially surprised that he was only running one of the Paladin modes, but I completely understand that. It's kind of more of, you know, a tech fight for board card, it seems like, than it is a, what's the word for it? Than it is, you know, the win con, the end game at this point. 2 of the Ace, which most of the rest of these cards will be in as base rarity as possible. Surprised that I accidentally put the alt arts in here. But yeah, so the 2 Ace, obviously very, very strong card, being able to just wipe the board with things. 1 Hammer Spark, 1 HPD, just helps you to further those plays. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I also want to just put down, if any of these, you know, deck lists are wrong, I would like to immediately apologize to any of the players. I took a little bit of time to put these into DCGO just so that we actually have like a visual for them. And I might have made a mistake here and there, but yeah, we'll move on to the second place. Congratulations again to Marcus Villamor. Fantastic play. And yeah, awesome. Okay, so in second place, we have Joseph Reyes on Miragegaogamon. I think this is an insanely strong deck, especially with the ability to combo as fast as it does. With some of the newest combos coming out of the newest Gaogamon to be blunt are insane. Being able to, we'll get to that in 1 second, but let's talk kind of a little bit about the card by card. 3 and 1 is super standard. You want to see the 1 of as often as you possibly can. 2 of, I imagine, would have been for things like the Galaxy Mirage matchup, which is a deck that is able to just gain so much memory in a turn. So by blocking that out is a great way to just, you know, do your best to stop them from gaining heaps and heaps of memory. Interrupts the Imperialdramon player as well by, you know, stopping them from doing the, as we said, the Primogenitor into Dragon mode combo over and over again. And then the Gaomon this has got to be absolutely by far the best one. Beta is great for jamming. Sometimes you get to play it out off the effect of your Huankun, which allows you to, you know, stun one of your opponent's Digimon on the field. Bounce to level 4. We're looking for the inheritables here, which are when an effect adds a card to your opponent's hand, gain a memory. Same one as this one. So once you hit the board with your Miragegaogamon, you're able to really, you know, stick to gaining a lot more than just 2 memory if your opponent only has 8 cards in hand. This Gaogamon is phenomenal for the deck. As soon as this card hit, I imagined that Mirage was going to see so much more play. Which I guess immediately it didn't, but it is still a very, very strong card. Both players draw a card from their decks. Then if your opponent has 8 or more cards, which is the only part of this that I'm going to focus on, gain a memory. So it is effectively a 1-cost Digivolve, almost always for Mirage. It allows you to add more cards to your hand, which is opponent's hand, which is all that Mirage wants to do. And then lastly, the inheritable, jamming. This deck just absolutely loves to have jamming. It doesn't need DP, it just needs to smash through things. 1 of Villamor, if your stack gets smashed, or if you just need that last check, it's always there. Huankun was a fantastic add to this deck as well. So you're playing out a Digimon, and then by placing said Digimon back underneath, you unsuspend the Digimon. You know, this is a fantastic card. It's basically doing what these other Macgaos are trying to do. You know, just another swing and unsuspend card. It's pretty cool. You can combo that with playing this out, gaining a memory, and then using the Gaogamon to try and, you know, draw deeper into your deck as well. Yeah. So 1 of Gaogamon. There's not much to say about this card. This card is very, very strong, hence being limited. Only 2 of the Macgao is kind of surprising to me. I would have thought that the Fear of God, aka Magna X, would put people onto more of these again. But I understand why not. You know, it isn't always going to be the only thing that you have to worry about. There's much more Imperial in the meta. There is much more, you know, there's SGDL hanging around. So totally fine to have that. 3 of the Zudos is great. If you're sitting on this, just trying to fight for board, there's your Zudos. For the Mirage, nothing to say about Mirage. Totally, it's very, very strong card. 1 of, because sometimes you just don't see the other 4, and I'm pretty sure in one of the games that we streamed and commentated, he didn't see any of his Mirages after the first stack. And yeah, that can be the greatest killer for this deck. 3 of the Burst mode, awesome. And then just a buttload of searches, completely unsurprising. Congratulations on second place, Joseph, and we'll get on to the next person. So we have Alan Koo with third place. Congratulations. Magnamon X. This is pretty standard for the most part, but I did want to talk about a couple of cards that I thought were very cool and surprised me when I saw some other players playing it, that being Primogenitor in this list. Now, this list only runs one. We have another list that ran two, and at first I was like, what the hell is this card doing in these decks? Why is it here? Until I took a full read-through to learn that any card with the free trait can Digivolve with the cost reduced by 4, and then if said free trait Digimon would be deleted, you may Digivolve into a card with Imperial. So effectively what this card is allowing you to do is delay if this dies, Digivolve. If your Magna X dies, Digivolve into Paladin mode. It is so funny to me that this is the tech that people are using. I really like it, and I think it's very creative. I personally had not even expected this to come out of the woodworks. But it's very cool, and I like that a lot, because in the mirror matchup especially, you need to be sitting on these Magna X's into the Paladin mode. It can get very grindy in the mirror. And we saw a lot of players coming out with playing Magnamon X. It was pretty... I think immediately in the first 2 rounds, we saw 5 of the 6 players playing Magna X. Different variants, of course, but yeah. Alan Koo, this is a great list. We had 3 of the boosts, 2 of the searches, double Zubagon, and double Kongu was kind of surprising. I think it's totally valid because there's still a lot of, Ancient Garu running around doing little chip checks with such little bodies. One of the other things that I do like, I guess, about it is that I imagine, you play this for 2 cost, and then your opponent on SGDL can't add, like a level 6 to their security, then they can't recover as well. So I kind of like that if that was the application. That I think is a very good way to think about the game, because, we did see somebody go to, I think, like 8 or 9 security on SGDL in one game, and that was just insane. Just playing out Chaos Mode after Chaos Mode. One of Death X, very fair medical. This card is very, very strong, and we're only seeing 2 of the Flamedramon in both of the lists that we have seen so far. This I thought was going to be a 3 of personally, but I completely understand. You got to make space for this boy. This is a fantastic card. Now, the other 2 surprising parts of this deck were seeing players play with the Davis and Ken. I hadn't even considered this. Totally valid. You're getting to free play out your bodies, and then use the Magnamon's effect immediately, and then it bounces the Magnamon back to your hand to just do it again. Just do it over and over again. And I think that is an insanely good play. Very, very creative. Sora Joe, not the biggest, I don't want to say I'm not the biggest fan, but I didn't quite understand it, to start with. But I think with the amount of, source stripping and, maybe you don't get to bounce with the Magnamon, you source strip with the Paladin mode and then just play this out. Maybe your opponent is just playing out searches. I totally, I get why you would want to run this. Source stripping your opponent's Magna X when you can. Yeah, I think this is, still a great ad. Definitely a medical. Triple Blinding Ray. Yeah, this guy was prepped for the mirror, if I had to say anything about it. Congratulations, Alan Koo, fantastic. We'll move on to the next deck. This is going to be pretty fast and schmoovy. Jesse Cooper came 4th. We had the privilege of watching him in the finals. Sorry to see that you got kicked out to 4th. You played absolutely phenomenally in, I think, the 2 games that we watched you. One of those was, if I recall correctly, we is just me. I watched that you went to 7 or 8 security. Dude, seeing the security go off the screen is so funny. You held your own. You were able to just constantly recur these chaos modes. Such a strong card. And just constantly giving your opponent the option, and they decline, so they trash and then recover, and then giving them the option again in the final game, and then he decides to pop one of the tamers, and then it just slamming down the 3rd one. He no longer has the option. We are trashing and recovering again. This list is phenomenal, I think. If Like, we have so many one-ofs in terms of, you know, all of these cards across the board, which gives us a, you know, immaculate amount of cards to, you know, put underneath the gate as soon as we can. You know, so many different names, so many ways to put under the gates. And running, in my opinion, probably the most important of these 4-ofs, which is Creepymon. You know, you just play it out, smash a level, you know, like a tall stack, or even just a little guy, get your trash going. And then Villamor, you know, playing him out, Digivolving the, especially the Paladin modes, the Imperialdramon matchup, you know, Digivolve 2, and then just walk over the level 4. This was really cool to see over and over again. Double Digimon Emperor. I think this card is falling off in favor just a little bit, but watching the games that we got to see of Jesse Cooper, the combination of running 2 of the Ruin modes and Digimon Emperor really pushed his opponents to the brink. Just making sure that they would fall off for a turn by, you know, not being able to raise, for example, or, you know, having to decide to Digivolve into a level 4 instead of just walking out and paying the cost, puts them off for another turn. It really stems that aggression. And a lot of a couple of the times that I remember we watched the games, the times that it was just clear that it was over, you were going like calling from darkness, popping any one of these bodies, playing out this for 2 cost, and then going straight into Ruin mode and just keeping Imperial players in the raising, and that just kept you from dying. Next time we play out the Chaos mode, get started back on that security gaining. Crazy, but fantastic play. And I really like this list a lot. Double Mist is awesome too. Really helped out once we, if I remember, it might not have been you, but we did see an SGDL player get hit with a Psych, and then we just were like, cool, we'll go Mist Memory Boost, we'll wait a turn. But awesome deck. Congrats. Then we'll move on to 5th place, Magnamon X again. So this is also pretty standard in the way that we think about Magnamon X. Congratulations to Daniel Su for your 5th place. When I say these decks are standard, I don't mean to detract from any of the players' capabilities, their wins. These are still fantastically crafted decks and fantastically played to have made 5th. Just awesome. 4 of these guys. This guy is just crazy. These guys are awesome. 2 of the Flamedramon, yet again. That's what I mean by we're just seeing 2 of these. It's just enough to start trashing our opponent's security. 1 of the Davis Ken. This was, I think, the player who I saw first on the Davis Ken, and I was just like, that's crazy. Blinding Ray. The BT5 Omnimon here was kind of surprising to me. We didn't see it in any of the games. I'm not sure if I was like watching your games, but I didn't see this come out. I totally understand it. You can do so much damage with this deck. You know, when I was playing it and came 7th at one of the regionals, I was able to, you know, just walk out, training, go straight into Magnamon, swing a check. It lives great. Now we go Awakening into the Magnamon X, which obviously now that it's limited, it's a much more difficult to do this combo. And then you're just doing 2 more checks. But by the time that you're probably finding your Awakening, there's a high chance that you've just, you know, drawn into it. So yeah, awesome list. Double Emperor, like that a lot. 1 Zubagon, great to see it. Congrats. So moving on to 6th place, Thinh Dane. I hope I pronounce your name correctly. I am nothing but just a little white boy doing his best. But yeah, so this is Omni Ace, and crazy that this got to 6th place. Now this deck looks super commanding when it goes off, and sometimes they just don't get to do anything, which, you know, you are essentially playing a 11 cost body out and hoping for the best sometimes. But, you know, 6th place with this deck, phenomenal work, incredible. So we'll take a quick look at the cards. This is probably one of the cards that facilitates this deck the most. I didn't realize until, you know, playing with one of my mates that this actually gains you 2 memory for each one of these guys you have down when you have, you know, when you Digivolve into Metal Garu and when you, for example, play out Wargrey. So this is gaining you a lot of that memory back, really helping you to, what's the word for it? Really helping you to keep your, your opponent off as much as memory as possible, so we're not actually just slamming this down for 11. Obviously, there's a lot of ways around that. You know, walking out with this guy. Yeah, just like I don't completely understand how this deck works yet. I have played a couple games of it on stream, but I firmly understand that it is a deck that, you know, you're doing your best to hit the board with Wargreymon or Metal Garu in any form as fast as possible, and then the moment your opponent kind of establishes their own board, you're punishing them by going the Omni Ace. Whether or not they swing and you blast Digivolve is kind of you know, a different story. Sometimes they just can't out a level 6 on the second turn. But yeah, just being able to DNA Digivolve into any of these and popping, deleting, bottom decking your opponent's Digimon, and then doing essentially 2 checks every turn by trashing a card, hitting, unsuspending, and then doing a 3rd check. Crazy damage if once this hits the board, and crazy difficult to out with the Miraculous Mega Knight here as well. But yeah, a Keenan Crier is kind of a surprising, like, a deck card in the deck to me, only for the fact that it is a card that, yeah, I don't know. This is very odd, I guess, but I do like that. You know, maybe this was tech for the opponent playing Imperialdramon. You know, they Davis can play out one of the Vmons or the Wormmons, and then boom, get taxed to memory. You also get to just fuck with your opponent a little bit with the on-play by, you know, making it so that they trash an up card or gain a memory. And so this is just a 2-cost tamer that taxes your opponent down the track. So I like this list a lot. The Greymons are really cool as well. I really like this Greymon because it kind of allows you to just start cycling a little bit. But yeah, congratulations on 6th place. This is a really cool list. I really like the Keenan Criers, if I'm being honest. That's sick. We have, in 7th place, Jackie Chan. I'm sure everybody in your life has already made a joke about you being the real Jackie Chan, so I'm going to not do that to you. I'll just leave that as it is. We have Ancient Garu. I thought more of this deck would, you know, convert to the top 8, but it just looks like we've done a fantastic job on our own. I'm really liking that we are seeing a very diverse top 8. There's only one repeat deck amongst all of the 8 of them. But yeah, let's get straight into the Ancient Garu here. I really like this one. This is much different to what I have seen and what I have played so far, as for the fact that this was essentially the closest thing we had to a complete pile deck in Digimon. With, for example, before, with the amount of Ukamons that you were able to run a red package, and that would allow you to gain a lot of draws, and then, more importantly, just run like Crimson Blaze, because we were still amidst the Numamon format. So it had a lot of tools at its disposal. I guess, like, off that, I'm just surprised that this list is not running one of the Jet Sylphie, and I'm surprised that it is not running any Heaven's Judgment. I guess the difference here is that no Heaven's Judgment, we have Full Metal Blaze. I imagine that bouncing as many little dudes as possible, and, you know, even being able to bounce one of the Dexdorus is much better than deleting it, obviously. But yeah, let's kind of walk it back here. Modoki, we talked about why we're running Modoki in this format. We want to stem our opponents from as much memory as possible. 2 of the Lunamon. This is a really cool card because if any of these dudes are out here, we can walk out and just bounce it and gain 2 memory. And this can go over all of your blue cards, obviously. It's not restricted by any means. I was thinking of the red build for a second there, because some people run this Lunamon in the red build because it can Digivolve over red cards. But this can also bounce itself, which gains the 2 memory still. And it's kind of crazy. And also, we've got the Strabby. Strabby is a great searcher. You know, also we're able to, you know, play out the, what's it called? The Tamers, if we ever have to Digivolve over it for a reduced cost of 2. Double Boko is pretty standard in these hybrid decks because we need the search to gain, we're top 5, grabbing 2 cards, Tamer and a hybrid, as well as, you know, gaining 2 memory if it ever sticks to the board. And then Ukamon and Ukamon. I'm surprised you're not running more of this Ukamon, but I completely understand. You don't want to be paying 1 too often when you have a deck that is as aggro as possible. Promo Ukamon, we can only run 1 of the Kendo, 4 of this Kendo, 4 of this Lobo. These cards are phenomenal. They essentially allow you to swing with this guy, gain a memory off of either of these Koji, and then you Digivolve into this for free. When you Digivolve into the Lobo for free, you are able to, if the Kendo is underneath it, you're able to warp into the Ancient Garu, and this allows you to do your finest combo in bounce a Digimon off the lowest level to the hand, and then, yeah, just bounce the security as well. Then we do the check. 2 checks off for essentially 4 memory is very, very strong. The Lobomon is also really good here. Like I said, with the Strabi, it helps you to just, you know, get into another Ancient Garu here, and then just play out your Tamer for a reduced cost after we, you know, pop it, play out a Tamer, and play out a Tamer. Awesome. The one of Beowulf is kind of surprising to me. I've heard tales that this card is poo-poo dog water, but it's, you know, without some other cards in the deck, then I kind of understand wanting to have, you know, enough targets to just digivolve into your Ancient Garu without having to warp. I know that was one of my biggest problems with the deck when I was playtesting it as BT17 hit the ground running, was that if you didn't see both of these cards and you couldn't cycle them constantly with your Ancient Garu, felt horrible. It felt absolutely dog water. So having, you know, 5 level 5s to digivolve through into, you know, Mirage as well, or your Ancient Garu, awesome. I think that is very, very correct in my opinion. You know, if this Kendo or your Lobo just sits on field and then your opponent doesn't expect a Zudo, great. BT5 Omnimon, this is an aggro deck. This needs to go as fast as possible. Double Sora, seeing that again. Again, still kind of surprising, but totally understand. These cards do not digivolve over Sora because they digivolve over yellow Tamers. So hopefully that didn't happen, but I doubt it would have. Congratulations, Jackie. This is another banger list. I'm a fan. And finally, we have Will Dawson's 8th place Leviamon. So this was a deck I kind of really expected personally to come back into the meta, as we've seen, you know, Numemon exit. We have I thought that this was gonna rear its ugly head once again, and I'm really excited to play this because the player who I was kind of following was Billy at the time. He was showing off how immaculate this deck is. It is so crazy how good this deck is. But yeah, no, it's crazy. So let's start from the bottom. You know, Sunamon, draw trash is this deck's entire game plan. You get to just tear through so much of the deck. We have 8 of the the searchers. This does so much in terms of searching. A Psych for the 7 Great Demon Lord player, and 2 Gazis for the Imperial players, and then when one of your effect trashes a card in hand, gain a memory. We're doing that at our level 4s. We're doing that at our level 5s. We have a new rookie in this deck in the Lopmon X, which I really like to see, that also does that, which we'll get back to. So this deck just gains a buttload of memory, tears through itself, trashing and drawing, and then, yeah, just so much. Labramon here is really good too, because not only does it do kind of the same thing of, you know, when an effect plays one of your Digimon, gain a memory, but it also grabs back a Shaman from your trash to your hand. So, we'll get to the Cerberus here. I think this list is a little bit different from the other player that we were watching, but basically, if you don't know, Anubis is a Shaman in its traits. So Cerberus and the Labramon both grab it back from the trash. So once you find that first Anubis, we are cycling. It does not matter if our opponent kills it, it is coming back. 2 of the Octomon, this Digimon is cool. It plays out a little token for our opponent. Yeah, I like this one a lot. 4 of the Doberex, one of the best cards in the lineup, because it allows you to draw trash, and especially now that you are playing the newest Dobamon, which gives the stack, any stack you want to blocker, we are also able to give that stack retaliation. Cerberus X with only 1 Cerberus is not surprising, considering we are running 4 of the protoforms, which, man, I wish I had 4 protoforms. I only have 2, so like I'm gonna have to be rustling people up just to get more of this, because this is just such a good card, and especially in this deck where you don't really have like a great way to search it other than, just drawing and trashing as much as you can. And you're only running 1 of the Cerberus, and not the Cerberus, and the full suite of Cerberus X. You need to have this protoform to digivolve into this so that you can trash a card in your hand, play out the, what's it called? Play out a purple level 4, and yeah, just get that in cycle. It's going to be the Lotmon X a lot of the time. This card trashes another card in your hand, and then you get plus 3k DP to any Digimon, which allows you to really, you know, not have to worry about, like, these are 14k, 13k. These guys are not worrying about, you know, how much DP they have as they smash into security. This guy, at least he will live a little longer, and it feels a lot safer to swing with him. But yeah, just hilarious. Like I love this a lot. And then the double Dragomon, this card is really cool too. Really helps you to just, you know, Dragomon, opponent plays out a Digimon, and then go into Levia X. And man, Levia X is so crazy. Digivolve over your X Anybody Digimon in, and, you know, trigger its when Digivolving effects to pop a 3, a 5, and a 7, and then you have Sec +2 on both of these bodies. Sorry, this only has Sec +1, I forgot. Sec +2 though, so much damage coming out, and just smashing over your opponent's, you know, security for 3 checks. And then if it's left unchecked, it gets even worse. It is very easy for you to go, like, full line into Anubis. Anubis plays out, for example, what do you call it? Doba X for free, and then we Digivolve into, like, and then say if you have your, like, your Anubis has the Cerberus underneath in the stack, then these guys can get, these guys can get Rush, which allows you to just immediately get that pressure on. And with the amount of, like, memory gain and you know, trainings, it's not hard to get into these guys. This deck does so much. One of the Ruin modes, Biting Crush, awesome. And double 7th Lightning. I don't think there's much else for me to say. This list is crazy. I really like this. I'm probably going to be using it my locals once I get, you know, 2 more protoforms, or better yet, you know, the moment I can, like, play this on stream, I will be playing it, because it just looks like carnage when I see this deck played. You know, you're just walking over your opponent, deleting 2 Digimon, deleting 3 possibly, just so much damage. Just crazy. So congratulations also, Will Dawson, on your 8th place. And that should round out all of the 8 players, the top 8 players. So thank you again for letting me stream this TAC Games. I really am super happy to have, like, been able to cover the, you know, the event, show off people that I know, show off a top 8, and give sort of understanding of what the deck lists that are behind that. Very happy for everybody who came and watched the stream, and I hope that everybody enjoyed it, because I enjoyed doing it. So, like, I'm super happy that we're here. These lists are all fantastic, and I'm really happy to see as much diversity as there is. If you enjoyed this breakdown, thank you very much. And like and subscribe if you want to keep seeing more of these sort of things. And if you haven't seen any of the other stuff on the channel, we've got plenty of gameplay videos. I got other deck profiles. I really want to start doing deck profiles again. But we're clearly doing a lot already. So awesome. Come watch me on stream. Dane is the channel's name on Twitch. I stream on YouTube as well, and if you want to see the entire VOD, 7.5 hours of commentating for the Oceanic Regionals, both should be on Twitch and on the YouTube channel. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye!